Hello, my friends. Glad to be back. Today is 26th of January. Now it's 10:30 in the morning. I'm Levan Gudadze, and you are watching my channel in which I try to share with the audience latest updates on news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. I do have quite a few interesting updates for this moment, and this video gonna be first one. I will probably make at least one more video today. Let's see how situation will develop in news world. So yes, I do have a few quite interesting updates, but before I start, I will ask you yet again, if I may, to click that like button if you find my videos and my channel interesting, to leave some commentary about anything really, because more likes and comments video has, more chances are that algorithm will don't suppress it as much. And please share information about my channel video friends on internet platforms that you are active. That way I will have more chances to reach wider audience and develop this channel in a better way. That's been said, let's talk about news now. And major news for this moment is that Russian side conducting cruise missile strikes on logistics infrastructure of Zelensky's regime, on energo infrastructure and military headquarters. These strikes are conducted right now, so I don't have final information about targets that were damaged, and about quantity of missiles that was used by Russian side. But on Ukrainian Telegram channels, we can read that air warnings are all around the Ukraine, and I do see footages of cruise missiles in different regions, from Nikolaev and Odessa to Kiev and western parts of Ukraine. So maybe this strike will be not as big as a few recent ones, but at least few dozens of missiles were launched. It seems like I do share more detailed information on my Telegram channel about this strike, and if you can and if you are interested, link to my Telegram channel is under this, in the description under this video, and you can subscribe and watch updates. I mean, whenever you want. So yes, that's been said. Let's talk about some other news that are relevant in Russian media outlets for this moment, and I will start from this information about Ugledar. As you know, yesterday late afternoon I did made update and talk about surprise Russian attack on direction of Ugledar, and now we have official confirmation of this information. This is TASS news agency, and we can read here that Russian armed forces not just establish control over the surrounding areas but also enter the city of Ugledar. And right now, gunfight is inside the city, and Russian side is trying to push forces that are still loyal to Zelensky's Nazi regime to push them outside of town. This is, as I said, quite in yesterday's video, quite significant development because Ugledar is one of the strong points in defense lines that Ukrainian Nazis were building for from 2014. So it definitely, I mean, we can with we can say now that defense lines of Ukrainian Nazis are crumbling all around the front line, from north side to south side. And Ugledar, in this instance, is we can say in central direction. This town is in close proximity from Donetsk, so liberation of this town will give some hope to residents of Donetsk that shelling, indiscriminate shelling, will be stopped, or at least there will be not that many shellings of Donetsk, because as you know, Ukrainian side almost on daily basis are shelling Donetsk with multi-launch rocket systems, not guided missiles, but multi-launch rocket systems, and they are just launching missiles in direction of city without any particular target. So they are not targeting Russian militaries, they are targeting city and civilians in the city. So if Russian side will establish over the Ugledar full control in next few days, that will be a great development for Russian side for sure. Let's talk about some other news. Here we have same information that yes, this is RIA Novosti. I mean, all yesterday afternoon when I was making video, Russian media outlets were still waiting probably for official confirmation of information that Russian forces entered the Ugledar. Now this morning all media outlets are writing about it. It's too late, in my understanding. News agencies should operate on a much faster pace, but it is what it is, man. And here we have a confirmation of first news that I just talked about missile strikes over the logistical and energy infrastructure of Zelensky's regime. Let's go and see some other news. Oh, this one is interesting. This is still TASS news agency. This article are based on later that was published on Politicom, which said that Western elites now discussing possibility of sending to Zelensky's regime jet fighters or fighter jets, and mainly in news articles about this matter, I do read about F-16 fighters. So what can I say? I mean, after tanks, after decision of Western elites to send to Ukraine tanks, it's quite logical that they will, on the next stage, they will at least start talk about providing Zelensky's regime with attack helicopters and jet fighters. So nothing surprising here. What can I say, man? Russia does have one of the best air defense systems in the world, integrated air defense systems in the world. And even though F-16, for example, is a very capable jet fighter that can not just conduct air-to-air combat, but also work on the ground, carry bombs and guided missiles to attack ground forces or ground targets. But but these planes, I mean, U.S. or European-made planes, they never operate in airspace that was heavily defended by integrated air defense systems like Russian. And I believe everything that I know about air defense systems and the jets, everything I know is telling me that these jets will have no chance to survive in skies of Ukraine. Not just because air defense systems, but also Russian jet fighters. For example, Su-35 is in every way much more capable fighter than F-16 ever was. And Russia actively using Su-35s in a zone of special military operation. So yes, after tanks, Western elites will probably now start negotiations about sending fighter jets and helicopter gunships like Apache or Eurocopter, or Italians do have a Mangusta attack helicopter, if I'm not mistaken. They are all very capable helicopters too, but yet again, in theater of operations where opposite side has very best in the world, probably air defense systems and best air superiority fighters, helicopters and Western helicopters and jets just don't have a chance. Maybe F-22 will do something, will survive for some time. Maybe F-35 may survive little less, but still may have some chances because they have stealth capabilities. But yet again, man, for example, Russian S-400 air defense systems, I mean, can track these planes and launch missiles at them. So even those best jets of the Western world don't survive in skies of Ukraine very long. That's my assumption. That's how I see this picture. But if and probably when Western elites will decide to escalate even more and provide Zelensky's Nazi regime with fighter jets, we may end up in a situation when Moscow will have no other chance or other choice other than respond in a really harsh way, and maybe even use some tactical nukes to let them know, to let Western elites know that they are playing with fire. Because after all, yes, there are many talks that these Leopard 2 or Abrams tanks or Challenger tanks won't change radically anything on the battlefield. Yes, I mean, experts will probably agree that even Western fighter jets, for example, would not have much chance to be successful in this set of operations. But all these steps are prolonging this conflict. That's for sure. Everyone will agree with this, and prolongation of this conflict means that not just Ukrainian side but Russian side are losing its citizens too. And after all, even though Putin and his close circle, people that are in close circle with him, they may did not want to go to extremes and use some weapons that are, too dangerous, but they may be forced to do so because at least some parts of Russian society will start demanding, not just asking questions, but demanding to finish this conflict as soon as possible. And one way to do this is to, at least for demonstration, use a tactical nuclear weapon on some direction that it will do minimal damage, but will send strong message to the Western elites, because game will be over then. It only takes one nuclear warhead to let Western elites know that this conflict, there is only two ways. This conflict will end now, or this conflict will end with the modern world. And I'm afraid the situation is rapidly accelerating to this direction, with all these crazy decisions that Western elites are making. So let's continue and talk about news. Yes, I did promise yesterday to some of you in the comment section that I will give you update on Russian reaction about decisions that was made in Berlin and Washington to send the main battle tanks in Ukraine. But on Russian main media outlets, there is nothing about it. We can open now, let's see, TASS. And here we have just nothing. No statement was made from high-ranking Russian officials about this development. So I may don't understand this position, because at least for rest of the world, Moscow should say that this step of Western elites to further escalate conflict with Russia, endangering entire world. It's understandable for me that Western elites did not listen, but rest of the world is listening. So at least for international community, Moscow should say something. Not just low level officials, but high-ranking officials. Maybe Putin himself should say something, or Prime Minister, or head of Russian Foreign Ministry. But for this moment, I did not see any statement from them. So let's continue with news. This is RIA Novosti News Agency, and we have information here that Zelensky's Nazi regime may start counteroffensive in direction of Berdyansk and Melitopol in few months time. That's what official of Zaporozhye region Vladimir Rogov is saying. As you know, in yesterday's videos, I did talk about large concentration of armed forces that are loyal to Zelensky in Zaporozhye region. These days, I mean, in last few days, we do have information that Ukrainian side is conducting reckoning operation, intelligence and sabotage operations in Kherson region. They did try many times in last few days to cross Dnieper River, for example. They took some heavy casualties, but they are still conducting these operations and the main goal for them is to learn where Russian strongholds are, and that may be received as a preparation of Zelensky's Nazi regime to conduct some kind of counteroffensive operation. As you know, in my previous videos, months ago, maybe even more, I was talking about that. That Western elites may use their assets in Russian political and military leadership, and I'm quite sure that they have assets in Russian elites. So I was thinking that they may use their assets to provoke yet another so-called regrouping of Russian forces, which on the theater of operations will mean that Russian troops will withdraw from certain areas, and I was talking about Melitopol and Berdyansk particularly. And I'm still on this position that Western elites may try to do this because that way they will destabilize Russia in a big way. So if Russian forces suddenly will withdraw from Melitopol, for example, and Berdyansk, Russian society will definitely did not receive this kind of development well. And but in my understanding, Russian counterintelligence services should do their job and eliminate all those assets that Western elites may and probably do have in Russian elite, so that there will be no retreats from nowhere. But yet again, man, we have here information that Zelensky's regime may try to conduct some kind of counteroffensive in direction of Berdyansk, Melitopol and Berdyansk in few months' time. Let's see, man. Let's see. What else? Here we have, this is RBK News Agency. We have information that Ukrainian side yet again tried to cross Dnieper River. I'm quite sure they are not trying to cross Dnieper River. They are conducting intelligence gathering operations to identify strong points of Russian side along the front line. And they will won't stop probably if they truly are planning counteroffensive. So this kind of operations from Zelensky's Nazi regime will be conducted probably every other day. That's how I see this picture. So yes, this is gonna be it for now. Oh, this video is too long, man. It's already 25 minutes, so I will finish now. I hope you find the updates interesting, and if so, please click the like button, leave some commentary, and share information about my channel with your friends. As I said many times, that will greatly increase my chances to reach wider audience. Yes, this is it. Later on, I will probably make second update when we will have more information about this cruise missile strike on logistic infrastructure of Zelensky's Nazi regime that are conducted right now at this moment. And probably there will be some other interesting news that I can share with you. So probably I will make a second video for today. But now this is it. Have a nice day and take care. See you soon.